day has finally come, worthless mortals. For a while now, Terminator NJ has been invading the British Fish Channel. Now it's time that I took charge. The way I'll take charge, you'll soon find out how. Soon you'll find out how serious I am, YouTubers. With me now on YouTube, worthless mortals. Beware.
So wow, it looks like Terminator NJ has got a YouTube account, and that was what 9/16/12 was all about. My God, what a revelation that was.
A big surprise there. It's just, obviously, I don't know what Terminator NJ has in store for this. Now he's got this. What is he going to do first? What is he going to do next? It's just really big. Obviously, he's taking over the British Fist, as he said. Yeah. What's coming next?
Unless he's trying to take over the IWC or the world, starting on YouTube. I don't know what the guy's doing. Why the hell he would want a YouTube, I don't really know. But I guess if you're interested, you guys can subscribe to this YouTube channel. We'll provide the links in the description box below for you guys to check out. But we really don't know what's coming on this YouTube channel, and we kind of fear what is actually coming on this YouTube channel.
That is the case.
In case you didn't already know, this is our Night of Champions review on 9/16/12. I am Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me is none other than the man, the one-man piece of awesomeness that is NJ.
What's up?
And we're the British Fist.
Gotcha.
Indeed. Subscribe above, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have on 9/16/12, or indeed Night of Champions, because that is the show we're reviewing, down in the comment section below. I'm scared.
And make sure you contact us in the description box below.
Yes, indeed. So after that shocking revelation, so Night of Champions, NJ, we started off with the pre-match battle royal. We had the return of Ted DiBiase, hooray, and Zack Ryder wins it, which means he was facing Antonio Cesaro later on in the night.
Okay, next.
Next, yes. So we actually started off this pay-per-view, not with 9/16/12, but we started off with the fact that Michael Cole announced that Lawler was in good health, which is good, and the fact that we would have none other than JBL on commentary, which was a nice little... Of course, I don't like to see commentators go off screen because of health issues, but JBL on commentary was a very suitable replacement for Jerry Lawler.
Of all the big names that could have been on commentary, JBL is someone that's not been within the WWE for quite some time. He's been teased on Twitter to do certain stuff, but to make an appearance here for this, in a way, thinner pay-per-view, it still gave him a great appearance and a good replacement for Jerry Lawler. And
I just remember who will be commentating on Raw now, or just wonder. Maybe JBL will continue, maybe Jim Ross will be on Raw, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but there will be a replacement.
So it's good to see, after what happened on Monday, that the news regarding Jerry Lawler was very positive. Now we'll start off with the opener, which was the IC Championship match between The Miz, Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, and Cody Rhodes.
From my predictions, I was kind of surprised that this was the opener, because after the pre-show match, I thought, okay, you've got the Battle Royal winner in the ring. Would it be good to follow up with the United States Championship match to get a little belt like that out the way first before you go to a higher belt like the IC?
Well, it would have been logical if that was the last thing we saw on the pre-show, but we had like 10 minutes of filler after the pre-show, so they were, I guess they were going to kind of rest Zack Ryder up for the later on in the night. This match, though, I thought was a very solid opener. These four worked very well in the ring together. They kind of like had two feuds going on in this match, so there was a good mixture of wrestling and storytelling, in my opinion. The crowd also... A theme of the evening was that crowds were cheering heels, kind of sometimes more than they were cheering baby faces. That was kind of a theme throughout the night. I mean, one of the reasons I love the Boston, the Madison, New York grounds and all that kind of stuff.
Boston definitely have their own choice on who to root for, and this match, again, I could root for any one of these four because they all did their own part in this, all did their great job. And this match, you could mention the negatives, but overall, I really enjoyed this as an opener.
I mean, Sin Cara did botch a couple of times. We come to expect that now. You notice how they did the Rey versus Sin Cara teases in the middle of the ring. They're going to be doing that at WrestleMania, I imagine. Maybe setting them up as a tag team on the way. But they really started to tease off that sort of big-ish match at WrestleMania that we could see. The finish came when Miz hits the Skull Crusher finale on Rhodes while Miz has the mask on. He doesn't know who he's Skull Crusher. I thought that was a nice sort of different finish involving Sin Cara's mask.
It was a creative way. I don't think it's going to lead to anything because I think they've still got their own feuds to go off and build up. But it was a creative finish, and they picked Cody Rhodes up all the other three to get the pin, which was, again, with Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara going off on their own and trying to look good, ready for their big match. I guess Cody Rhodes was the odd one out.
I mean, he has been doing a lot of jobs recently, has he? Unfortunately, my boy keeps doing jobs, but fortunately, one day, my boy, you will be at the top of the ladder. I'm hoping. So a very good opener in my opinion. Then we have the tag team match. This is kind of a highlight for me, just because of the way the crowd reaction. It's amazing to think that this time last year, Daniel Bryan was coming out on pay-per-views like SummerSlam and getting no reaction at all. Now, he's getting, what would you say, probably the second biggest reaction behind John Cena in the WWE right now?
Well, I'd say yes, but the way they've done this is obviously... Yeah, also the AJ thing, so I guess we have AJ partly to blame for how much progress that Daniel Bryan's been getting from this.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny how in the opening video package that the tag champs weren't featured in the video package. It was all about the anger management segment, which kind of told you who was going to win this match. And to be honest with you, I say at least now we have new tag champs in Kane and Daniel Bryan that hopefully they will at least incorporate this anger management storyline and actually write for tag team feuds now. But I did think what made this match for me was the way the crowd reacted. And again, they were booing the face tag team and cheering the what would you think the heel tag team would be. And that's something to watch.
Well, we all had the thought that Daniel Bryan's going to be turning face and Kane, well, he's already a face, it looks like. So in a way, I wouldn't be surprised if they do continue to build on this and make them, even though they've got anger problems, they may swerve to be a face in the future.
And the storytelling was pretty good here between Kane and Daniel Bryan. The finish came when Daniel Bryan chucks Kane off the top rope and... no, sorry, was it? I can't remember which way it was. It was
Daniel Bryan pushed Kane.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan pushed Kane. Exactly, yeah, sorry, I have a blank memory there. And on to Kofi Kingston, and they get the victory, so they're the tag champs, even though Daniel Bryan seemed to think that he was the tag champ.
No, I'm the tag champ.
I'm the tag champ.
I'm the tag champ.
I'm the best man in the YWC. What are you talking about? We need to go to anger management and MJ. No, sorry, we're fine. We don't need anger management. But the hug it out bit was pretty entertaining as well, wasn't it? And then hug it out, hug it out. I mean, I was pretty entertained by that. I thought this whole segment was entertaining personally, mainly due to the crowd.
Hug it out is still continuing. Okay, Kane, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, but go ahead with it. But the thing that stood up for me is that I can predict in the future when they do break up, if this continues on for that long period of time, it's going to be because of these pushes and stuff that's going to screw them up and make them lose the belts eventually. But for this match, new tag champs, finally it's happened. But they did have these Pride Time Players segments and they just got a bit of TV time, but nothing really as much as Kane and Bryan.
I predicted that Daniel Bryan and Kane will walk out as tag champs, and I wasn't surprised they didn't. I think that's for the better, really. At least the tag team division may get a little bit of writing now with this anger management storyline, which is incredibly entertaining to me so far.
It's going to.
WWE did some good stuff here for breast cancer awareness. They had the middle rope that was pink, and they had that John Cena breast cancer awareness t-shirt, the pink shirt, which is a nice little touch.
It was nicely done. They also had this whole video package and all these people who recovered from the breast cancer. It was nicely done. They really brought it out and brought it to life. So I guess people I've noticed on Twitter have been calling that filler, but it had a lot of importance to this. So
you're raising awareness of a very, very big cancer, form of cancer. So I can appreciate WWE for trying to help that along. Zack Ryder versus Antonio Cesaro for the US Championship. Did you really care about this match, really? Have you really cared about Cesaro at all since he's really come in?
Never. I don't care about Cesaro. When he came to the US Champ, don't care. When Ryder won it, don't care. This match, don't care.
Was you really surprised that Antonio Cesaro got no reaction at all based on the way WWE are presenting him in the cup? No, I wasn't really surprised either. And really isn't too much to say about this match. It went 6.5 minutes. Cesaro wins via distraction by Aksana, and I really wish that they would actually give Claudio something to run with here, because he got no reaction from the crowd. They really need to do a little bit more with him, really. I'm being serious. Even though he's the US champion, which is kind of a meaningless belt.
Vicky, take notes from Aksana because she actually helped her wrestler to actually progress.
Take notes, Vicky Guerrero.
Well, it's 9/16/12, worthless mortals. And as you've seen, I've got YouTube. So subscribe if you want to see more from me. Keep supporting me, or I'll come and find you.
So next up, we have the Show Off versus the Viper. Dolph Ziggler versus Randy Orton. You know, I can't take anything away from these two. It was a very good match between these two. You typically expect two guys like Dolph Ziggler and Randy Orton that are both very good in-ring technicians and in-ring workers, that they would put on a very good match. I just feel it's a shame that this match has been wasted on free TV so much, and that made me, I couldn't really get into it as much as I really wanted to, because we've seen it so many times on free TV, not just before this, but you know, in previous episodes of Raw when Ziggler's been used as like a pawn to get to you know, further a Randy Orton feud.
Well, I personally was one of the match I was actually looking forward to. In my eyes, to build up to this certain match, they've had one over on each other. They got to this match. It's to really determine who's maybe possibly going to end the feud unless they want to somehow continue it. And plus, this match was really nicely done. I really enjoyed this match. And again, the way they both performed, they both looked good on each other, which was exactly what this match needed.
Yeah, I mean, I can't take too much away from this. I feel that Orton was booked a little bit too dominantly in this match, but I'm not going to nitpick too much. It's just a shame that I had to see this match twice on free TV and end clean, when really that you'd expect the WWE to at least book it so that this will be the first clean finish we have in this feud. It's just, I don't know why they book things like that sometimes, but it was still a very good match. It got a lot of time as well, 18.5 minutes. It was the second longest match of the night.
Well, the thing I'm going to say is that the result, we all knew what was coming, sadly. It's just that I could have watched any of Orton's past matches and it would have been the same result. So, in a way, the match was good, but at the end, I could have watched any of Orton's past matches to see what was coming.
I mean, the lift-up RKO was a very good finish. I just wonder if they're ever going to make Ziggler win a pay-per-view match against a big name. I think that's one thing that really lacks from his resume, in my opinion, and it's just very typical of a way WWE would book a guy like Dolph Ziggler, who's the Money in the Bank, and he'd still lose to a Sheamus, he'd still lose to a Chris Jericho, and he'd still lose to an Orton, really. I mean, do you really think Ziggler was at the level where he could beat an Orton here, or do you think that, especially with Orton on a second wellness policy as well, is it really wise that they really put Orton over here?
There was times in this match where I thought Ziggler could win it quite easily here, but I guess the WWE put all their love still in Orton. When there was many times in this match, I thought Ziggler could have this.
I'll say this though, for all you guys that don't like Orton and like Ziggler, at least Orton will offer the company more than Dolph Ziggler will, even on a second wellness policy. That's all I'll say about that. Layla versus Eve for the Divas title. This was actually built to throughout the night, wasn't it? You had the attack on Caitlyn, which I assume will be Eve, and then Booker T putting Eve in this match. And so this actually got quite a little bit of build during the night. It's just a shame that I still didn't really care about it.
No.
Just didn't care about it. You got Eve wins the match and is our new Divas champion, and you kind of get the feeling that they're going to do an angle where it was Eve Torres that attacked Caitlyn, and she's going to come back and have a big baby face moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is that what you want to say about Divas?
Yeah.
Pretty much. We had a backstage segment after that with Kane and Daniel Bryan, and I will say this. The segment was fantastic for me because I got to see AJ Lee in a wet shirt. How awesome was that? Especially for me who loves AJ Lee. I got to see Kane and Daniel Bryan in the anger management and then AJ Lee in a wet shirt.
It was a very nice spot. The thing about this is that the first appearance of AJ, that creep guy was there, and Kane going to Disneyland. What the hell are you doing to Kane who wants to set people on fire, set people's balls alight? What the hell's going on? Yeah, it made people laugh, but it's not what fans of Kane want to see. So
I still think Kane has the bigger balls. That's all I'll say about that. Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. Where do we start with this one? You know, you had Booker T coming out before the match saying that in WWE there are risks, and he reinstates the bro kick. And it's just like, you did all this build for the banning of the bro kick. The one thing, even though I didn't think Del Rio was going to win anyway, the one thing which may have made me think that Del Rio could win was kind of taken away. And I'm sitting there thinking, when were the days when WWE used to book their baby faces to actually overcome an obstacle so people can actually get behind them? As soon as this happened, I lost all interest in the match.
The thing is, no matter what happened, I always expected Sheamus to win. I don't think this was Del Rio's time. Not one thought came to my mind. But the thing about this is, you had a big storyline for about a month beyond this break being banned. Then all of a sudden, you just bring it back during the pay-per-view. So it's like, why build up something and not follow through with it? And for the people who like the idea of it being banned or didn't like it being banned, this just really wrecked the whole build of this. You've wasted build for nothing. I
know, they did all that. They did all that stuff on the banned bro kick, the lawsuits, the broken necks and all that kind of stuff, and then this happens. It's like, well, why did you even do all that? The match itself was actually not too bad between Sheamus and Del Rio. I mean, problem is this is the third time they faced off now, and they haven't really kept it interesting enough for me to really care about it. It was a typically good match, 14.5 minutes. Hopefully this feud has ended now and they can just move the fuck on.
They really do need to move on from this because it's been. I tweeted this and it's just like they've played this for so many months, same results, same win, same expectation, and it's just really stupid. Now we want someone we think, oh, could this be the opponent that Sheamus loses to? Not once. I think Del Rio could be that. And the thing is, I did have my small hope that Ricardo was going to turn on Del Rio. I didn't even get that. So this match was a replay of Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, blah blah blah.
I guess Ricardo's neck was all right then. Thank the Lord for that. That's all I'll say. So hopefully this feud has now ended and it hasn't really done too much for Del Rio. It's just, again, another typically WWE booked feud where the babyface goes over pretty much all the time and the heel can't really draw that much heat. What does that remind us of? Oh, Orton versus Christian last year. Main event time. John Cena versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship. This, in my opinion, was one of those main events that it involves two of the top guys in the company, and it kind of had to deliver, in my opinion. Your thoughts on this match itself?
Going to this match, I really saw Heyman there. He made a great promo at the beginning, warming this match up, but he just basically stood at ringside and allowed this all to happen. You also had John Cena's father in the audience. Nothing really happened there. So anyway, they were teasing something that could have been a possibility, but nothing happened. This match, it got quite a long time, which it needed to, because we saw how much time it had left the pay-per-view. The match was, I'll say it was solid for what it was from these two guys, two main eventers. But as the match went on, it looked like Punk was taking stuff from Cena's, but when a finish move hit him, he would kick out, and I was starting to say, Punk, you're not Cena, blah, blah, blah. The match went on, and the thing is, the finishes happened again and again and again. I thought one is bound to finish the match because it's a finisher, and I don't get it.
I will say this. I must admit, I did enjoy this match a lot. I think Cena and Punk have a lot of chemistry in the ring. And they pulled out a lot. They pretty much pulled out as much as they could. I mean, they've had a lot to live up to. Their Money in the Bank match, even their SummerSlam match was pretty decent for what it was. So they had a lot to pull out. And I think this was a very good match between the two. I mean, you had Punk reversing most of Cena's moves, which is, you know, a realistic way of storytelling. Cena even broke out the suicide dive at one point, and they were just kicking out a finisher after finisher after finisher, and you wondered when the hell this match was going to end. I mean, you had Cena kick out of, two GTSs and a rock bottom, and at this point, I was thinking Cena's going to go over here. Punk kicked out of two AAs, and it was like I was thinking, man, Cena's definitely going to go over here. And we get to the end, like you were just about to go on to, when you had this top rope German suplex, and there was a pin, and I was thinking, man, that was a kind of a crappy finish. And then we're thinking, Cena's won the belt. For fuck's sake. And then all of a sudden they get the announcement that both shoulders were down for free and Punk is still the champion. Now, your thoughts on the finish?
I did say going into this match, I wanted it to finish in a way that either Punk loses, so Cena could probably go on to face Rock at Royal Rumble and lose for WrestleMania, so Punk go against Rock at WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. And also I wanted a way, if they're going to try and continue to the Rumble, somehow Cena needed to win or a DQ finish. So the way they did it gave us a possible rematch, but I really thought the way it finished, because it looked like what I saw, that Cena won no matter what they were trying to make us believe. It looked like Cena won. And I just thought you could just either done with Heyman getting involved or just something different than that weird finish.
See, I totally disagree with you here, NJ. I'm sorry to say. I think this was a perfect way to finish the match. Not only have you established that Cena could have definitely won the belt, but you've also got as much heel heat as you could on CM Punk by having him get away with it, so to speak. So you had this finish where everyone thought John Cena won, and everyone was elated, all the casual fans, of course. And then you get the news that it was actually a draw. And it was, in my opinion, they're going to need to find different ways like this to continue the feud, because it's going to go on throughout the whole winter until the Royal Rumble. So the match was very good. I can't complain about that. The chemistry between the two was very good. I thought the finish was actually a very good finish, in my opinion, in terms of continuing the feud, getting as much heel heat on CM Punk and giving people the realization that Cena could have won the belt, but he just couldn't quite win it, which is one of the best ways of putting heat on a heel sometimes. So that's my opinion on the finish. You guys may have a different opinion on it, but you can always put it in the comment section below. Any other thoughts on the main event? I thought it was very good.
It's just that Heyman, again, they're really delaying this whole Heyman thing. You saw that cast, the limo scene, driving away scene. They didn't really follow up on that. Had Heyman tonight, he didn't really do anything apart from cut a heel promo and then just nothing the rest of the night. So in a way, I'm still waiting to see what Heyman's actually doing, and they've not really done too much explaining here.
Well, I guess really with some of these kind of things, we kind of need to be a little bit patient sometimes. Like, you know, we don't know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. So I'm quite prepared to stay patient with regards to this whole thing. It's a big, I'm guessing it'll be some sort of big angle. I don't really know. But like I said, it was a very good main event, a very good way to end the show. But what were your overall thoughts on the show as a whole?
Okay, there was some matches I didn't care about, but there was matches that, again, did their job, got me interested. Nothing that really like makes me want to tune into Raw, not definitely like past pay-per-views have. So I'll say it's not a bad pay-per-view.
No, I don't think it was a bad pay-per-view at all. I think the main event delivered, in my opinion. They continued that feud on in a pretty decent way, in my opinion. There was some really good matches on this pay-per-view. There was some matches I didn't really care about too much, but that's kind of typical of a WWE pay-per-view sometimes. So I'll say this was a decent to good pay-per-view, considering the middle bit was a bit iffy, and the Del Rio Sheamus match, in my opinion, just I lost all care about with regards to the booking. But I'd give this like a B-. It's not a pretty decent pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Well,
overall.
they didn't have filler, and the only thing I'm going to complain, I said this before the show, is that Barrett was saying, I'm going to have a change. You had a pay-per-view coming up and you saved it for the week after, and I thought, why not have it at the pay-per-view? So it's actually a pay-per-view where it's like bigger, better, so that's coming up before SmackDown. So it's a bit of a delay and a bit sad that Barrett didn't make it to this pay-per-view, but whatever, WWE. But I'm going to give it just to be a bit more fair because, again, the Orton match, the main event, I'm going to lean towards more B.
Fair enough. I think, to be honest with Barrett, they kind of messed up his introduction anyway. So having him on this pay-per-view wouldn't really have done too much because it's the way they introduced him that's the most important, and they didn't really introduce him very well. Maybe could have saved his return for this pay-per-view, but WWE just racing it on a SmackDown. There we go. Put your thoughts and comments and opinions on this pay-per-view, and 9, 16, 12, of course, down in that comment section below. I'll now hand you over to NJ, who's going to provide you some kind of outro to this wonderfully crafted video we've just done.
People, before I finish up, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, follow him on Twitter, and from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, tune into Raw. Until next time, YouTubers, thank you very much, and goodbye.